Representing everybody that is you. I represent being able to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
You gotta really be in it and really enjoy it and really want it.
And I feel like if you come into it like that day one, man, you unstoppable.
That shows people it's possible, my people, that it's possible.
And that is so necessary in a world of misinformation. This is a legacy effort.
If you're looking for a secure haven within the literary world, you found the perfect organization. Let's make magic together. Our space is specifically designed for African American authors who are passionate about their writings of films and books. It's a platform to stay informed about industry developments. And on Patreon, we'll share exclusive content, valuable resources, and engaging discussions and masterclasses on various subjects, ranging from film and publishing industry trends to wellness and business tips. So if you're ready to dive into this exciting community, become a member now. Welcome to our literary haven where creativity knows no bounds. Let's make magic together.
This is going to be a presentation going over finding your voice and how to craft your authentic story, how to craft your authentic, memorable prose, writing, personal narratives, and poetry as well. So again, we're going to focus on the authenticity in writing, and we're going to focus on finding your voice. So I want to start off with an icebreaker. You can take the next 1 to 2 minutes. Maybe you want to write it down. Maybe you just want to think about it. Maybe you want to have it so you can store it away for later. But I want you to think about, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily routine, what would it be and why? This can pertain to writing, or it doesn't have to. But just think about something in your daily routine. If you could remove it, what would that be and why would you remove it? If it's removing it with something that you have to do for a job that you don't necessarily care for, what would you substitute that time with? You know, so many instances, and I hear so many people say, I've been victim as well of, okay, I don't want to be here. This is not what I want to do. So what else would you be doing with that time, right? We do need to occupy our time in ways that are strengthening ourselves mentally and emotionally. So just think about that. What's the one thing you would remove, and why would you remove it? The key objectives today that we're going to be going over are cultivating confidence within writing, developing techniques for authentic expression, enhance memorable prose crafting skills, and identify personal writing voice. This is what we're going to focus on today. So I hope you're ready. If you don't already, please get your pen and paper, and we're going to go and dive in. So identifying your voice. What are the 4 things, or what are things in general that you should think about when you're trying to identify your voice? Well, before we even dive into this slide, I would say start your mornings quiet if you can. Start your mornings with just a moment of stillness and peace. You wake up, you take a deep breath in, maybe you place your hand over your heart to feel your heartbeat. That's an amazing place to start to find your voice, because you're responding to the existence of your being, and you're also creating stillness to be able to even examine what you may need. What do you need? What do you need? I think think when you start with that question, then you can start to answer other questions like how to identify your voice. What is your voice? What would you like your voice to be? What is your voice going to say? What do you need? And why are you speaking about whatever you're speaking about? Where is it coming from, right? And all of these things come from just knowing yourself better on a deeper level and not being afraid of that. So self-reflection is, again, what I hinted on. When you start your mornings quiet, or if you just take moments throughout the day to just self-reflect, maybe you just encountered a situation or a person that maybe threw you off your axis, and that is a moment for self-reflection because maybe you reacted in a way that you didn't want to, or maybe you didn't say anything and you wanted to say something. Self-reflection in that moment, why didn't you speak up? In that moment, why did you feel the way you did? When you start to ask yourself those questions, you're able to find your voice because you know why you're saying what you're saying, you know why you're doing what you're doing. And again, it's just having the facts, having that solid foundation, having the action behind your voice back that up. So self-reflection should be happening on a day-to-day basis, multiple times a day. We are not bigger than self-reflection. There's a difference between being confident in what you're saying and being cocky and arrogant. And I think that's a fine line, right? So specifically for Black women, women of color, we are trained, programmed from beginning to stay quiet, to know our place. And when it comes to self-reflection and finding your voice, that is a place of true vulnerability. And I need you to know that you have to be open to being vulnerable in order to find your voice, in order to self-reflect. Consider writing freely. So consider waking up and just writing what's on your mind. Consider, if you have dreams, waking up and trying to record them. Going throughout your day, maybe you heard something from a conversation that you may have overheard, or you see a sign. Write things down that resonate with you. Write things down that you think will have a deeper meaning that you can explore further. Write those things down. Freely write, with no judgment, with no restrictions. Just write. Just write, and that will put you in a better headspace. It will free up the space that you have internally in order for you to find that courage and confidence to identify your voice and figure out what that is and what you want to say and what you're trying to say in any given moment. I think one thing that I actually do want to point out is identifying your voice also does not always mean that you're just talking just to talk. And I'm not saying that, again, you cannot freely express yourself, because it is so healthy to just vent. But when it comes to creating a platform and you are speaking, not everything needs to be said, and sometimes silence speaks volumes. So identifying your voice and identify where it's coming from, and the environment that you're in gives you that better discernment to figure out, okay, this needs to be said, this doesn't need to be said. So just something to think about. Reading widely as well goes hand in hand. The more you read, the more you are up to breast on what's happening around you, what's out there, what's in the market, right? So you're up to date and you're relevant in the times, the era. What are people reading? What do people want to see? What are people gravitating towards? And no, it's not just the overbearing mainstream stories. Some people are really trying to find themselves and do the healing and do the work and starve themselves from distractions, as I hope everybody coming to this presentation is as well. And so there is an audience. Again, when you do the work yourself, then you are able to be that service and that beacon for others, because you know the work firsthand. And I'm not saying that your process will be like everyone else's, but you have a common starting point, and that's important. Experimentation. Experimentation is, I would say, self-explanatory. You're experimenting. Life is an experiment. Every day you wake up, you have no idea what's going to happen. We have plans, and that's great. Plans are great. I think plans are amazing. I think organization is amazing. It helps you be more prepared. But at the end of the day, we have no idea what the day will bring us. So experimentation and continuously being open to new outcomes, new outlooks, new perspectives, new conversations, new connections, just new everything. Things that are unfamiliar, things that are uncomfortable. One of my quotes is stay uncomfortable, it keeps you blooming. And I think that would correlate directly to experimentation because, again, your entire life experience is experimenting. And so when you are able to continuously or more often than not step outside of your comfort zone and be comfortable or okay at least with being uncomfortable, you open yourself up to new worlds, new ideas, learning different perspectives. And again, this doesn't mean you agree with all perspectives, but it just means that you're open to hearing it, and you're open to seeing how other people live their life and make decisions and do the things they do. It's really getting into the human psyche, and that is another amazing tool that these corporations and things use to target us and find our voice or connect with our voice and connect the way we think, because they follow our patterns, they follow our behaviors. So you doing that same thing on a more authentic level is going to be very beneficial to you. Feedback from others. Again, that goes to experimentation. You do not have to agree with the feedback. However, and I'm not even saying that you should be open to everyone's feedback, because sometimes people just have a platform and they just say what they would like to say. And then that's that. But take it at face value. Pick up what you need, leave what you don't. It's that simple. Again, sometimes things are better left unsaid, and so there truly is no need to respond. But just be mindful that hearing people's feedback, again, you're not taking it and saying that this is your identity, but sometimes it's just interesting to see how people think and how their thoughts populate in their mind. It's very interesting just to be a witness to the experience, to the human experience on other people. Moving right along. Develop techniques for authentic expression. So when we talk about this, I truly want us to think about what is authentic to you. What does that mean to you? And so when you're being authentic, I think you should just take time with that word before you dive into what I'm going to go to. Because you can pause this at any time that you need to just go over what you need to. What does authenticity mean to you? Write what it means to you. And then consider these things. Practice free writing. Like I said in the last slide, freely writing, just getting up, writing a word. It does not have to be a paragraph, so there's no pressure. But if there is a lot that you have to say, get it out. Don't let it just sit there. Get it out, push it out, say what you need to say. No one is judging you. It's you, the paper, and the pen. That's it. No one else exists. Nothing else exists. Just write. That's so important for us as Black women, women of color, to do on a daily basis, because we are dealing and we live and we have to operate in a society where we are not always respected, accepted, or noticed / recognized for just being who we are. There's always criticism. And again, constructive criticism is great, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the passive aggressiveness in workplaces, the white supremacy, the aggression that comes from just the fact that I am a person of color, just because, I am a woman. That's what we're speaking about. So allow yourself the permission to freely write. Ask yourself the hard questions. Now, I can't answer this for you, but what is on your heart and mind when you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning? What is your why? Why do you continuously get up and try another, to move forward? Why do you get up and keep moving day after day? What is it that is propelling you forward? And what is it that you need? What is it that you really want? What is it that you're really trying to work through? What do you not understand? Where do you feel like you may be stuck? Where do you feel like you could be hindering yourself? What is it? Dig deeper. If it's financially, okay, do you feel like you don't have the know-how, the actual physical materials to reach, like propose yourself in front of investors to ask for the money? Or is it you don't believe in yourself? So those are deeper levels, and those are the kind of questions that I want you to ask yourself. Seek honest feedback. Feedback is great, as I mentioned in the previous slide, and constructive criticism is even better. And again, this is not to say you have to take anything at face value. This is why it's so important to know who you are, which also ties into identifying your voice. But it's good to hear feedback from others, because at least you know how it's being perceived. Even if you didn't mean anything a certain way, or you did mean something a certain way and that's not translating, that is good, honest feedback that you can use to leverage and retailor, repivot, reposition yourself as that authentic voice coming to them, trying to be a beacon of light, share information, etc. Embrace vulnerability. This is so important. We can't start to do anything or really talk about anything if you don't embrace being vulnerable, if you don't embrace being open and honest with yourself. It always starts with you. It always starts with you. So identifying your voice starts with you. It starts with being honest about what you need, where you may be struggling, what could be hindering you. And this is not going to be easy or pretty work. And so I want to be upfront about that. Vulnerability is a part of the human experience, and it's a part of going through those feelings that nobody wants to talk about. Why you are angry, why you are sad, why you may feel unworthy, or why you may have been in the shadows. What is that? Only you know that, and only you can answer those questions. But be vulnerable, because that's how you truly live. That's how you truly connect with people. And that's how you step into authenticity, is being vulnerable. Be real with yourself if you're going to expect other people to be real with you. Enhancing memorable prose and crafting skills. So consider these 4 things when we're talking about enhancing memorable prose. So enhancing your writing, enhancing the quality of your writing. What makes your writing memorable? What can you do to make your writing stick? Focus on vivid descriptions. Be specific. So remember earlier I talked about being out and just seeing words or seeing signs or overhearing things and writing things down. Maybe use those words as a prompt. Maybe find writing prompts each day and write different write different segments from that word or from that phrase, different styles of writing. So maybe you're doing a script one time, maybe you're writing a poem another time. And be vivid. Just challenge yourself. There's no right or wrong, and I think you have to continuously remind yourself that there's no right or wrong. You just have to continuously show up for yourself and experiment. That's how you make it memorable. What strikes chords with you? Why are you trying to tell the story that you're trying to tell? And the deeper and the more accurately you can answer that question, the better off you will be when it comes to actually finding your voice, writing, and feeling comfortable in where you are, where you stand, and sharing that with the world. Because once you share that with the world, again, you're being vulnerable and you're opening yourself up to not only people who agree with you, but people who disagree with you. And so be honest and real with yourself, and having a solid foundation about why you're saying the things that you're saying, where you're coming from, is just so important to be able to stand in that, because everybody will not agree with you and some people will. And so just be able to have that tough skin, and knowing that regardless of whatever rebuttal or whatever feedback people may have, whether, because some people will take things personally, it doesn't faze you, because you said what you said and you stand on it. So that's super important. Vivid descriptions. Think vivid, think specific. Be specific. Create emotional resonance. So I think I actually just touched on that. What resonates with you emotionally? What makes you cry? What makes you sad? What makes you happy? What makes you frustrated? What makes you curious? What evokes emotion from you? And why does it evoke emotion? Ask yourself those questions, and then start to create your writing prompts, scripts, paragraphs, poems from that place. What do you want to feel? Why do you want to feel it? What do you want your audience to feel, and why do you want them to feel it? Again, ties into the story that you're trying to tell. Master dialogue. So this is very interesting, because again, with script writing, you're thinking of, again, what kind of story you're trying to tell, what are the voices that you want to exemplify, what is the purpose of saying what you're saying. And even not in script writing, even in creative nonfiction and personal narratives, what is the purpose of what you're saying, and how do you want the voice to come across? Really think about how people talk, and then also think about why you're trying to tell the story and what's the point, because that is where you're going to be able to connect with people. When the dialogue is relatable, be relatable. People want to see themselves in the work that you put out, whether that's a visual medium or just a written medium. They want to be able to see themselves. So keep that in mind. Develop dynamic characters. This means multi-layered characters. And again, this goes back to what I said initially. You cannot develop dynamic characters, develop anything dynamic outside of yourself, if you don't do that work within yourself. So dynamic characters is essentially not just describing who you're speaking about on an external level, but digging deeper internally. Why do they do the things they do? Why do they speak the way they do? Why do they think the way they do? When you're able to ask yourself those questions, and again, be able to use your human experience to observe other people, and kind of ask questions to where you feel comfortable, you can really start to gauge why people do the things the way they do. And you can also see how people are just so multi-layered, and it's really, you can take people at face value sometimes, but other times, like, there's just so many layers that we never tap into. Maybe the person who you're speaking to, you can see the layers and they can't even see it, so that's what we mean by dynamic. What is the depth? What are we really talking about? How are we really connecting with this person? How are we relating to them? And again, you can't answer that until you answer the question, how can you relate to yourself? All right, so cultivate confidence in writing your voice. Okay, so I want you to think about writing regularly. Again, I want you to set realistic goals. We are always overachievers. We always want to do a lot of things in a short amount of time. But at the end of the day, it's not realistic, and it also is not good for our mental and emotional health. So I want you to set a realistic goal. How often would you like to write, and what would you like to write about? Again, if that is just you making a goal to write every day, and it does not have to be long form, literally just being a word, I mean, everybody could do that. The amount of thoughts that go through our head a day, you could write down at least one word a day, right? So start from that baby point, especially if you're looking to create a routine where you where writing doesn't become so daunting or like such a chore. Start small. Start from where you are feeling what you need to release. That will help you. Embracing imperfection. Again, this is all an experiment. This is a human experience. Release yourself from the obligation to be perfect, because at the end of the day, perfect doesn't even exist. And I know that we know that, or at least we should know that, but a lot of things can come up from childhood traumas, how, you know, we were raised, the expectations we put on ourselves, the standards and expectations that are placed on us by society. That alone can always have us feeling like we are not enough, we're not doing enough. Embrace the fact that you will make mistakes. Embrace the fact that imperfection is inevitable, and you will strive and persevere regardless. Because if you think about it, I want you to sit down and also make a list of like 3 people that you admire. It doesn't even have to be famous people, but 3 people you admire, where they are physically, emotionally, mentally. That's where your goal, where you would like to be in that realm. They all went through something. Not everybody had a straight journey, you know? So it's okay to be honest with yourself about the trials and tribulations that you're going through, that you've gone through, in order to push yourself forward and in order to keep going. Because if you get stuck on the fact that you are imperfect, you will never move and you will stay stagnant. And that is the opposite of what you want. And yes, seek constructive feedback. I already talked about that, but very, very important. Seeking constructive feedback helps you understand, again, how people are absorbing your content, and then it gives you more of a leg up slash just foundation and basis of what people are looking for, what you were trying to say, and how to pivot. That gives you the confidence, because you know where you went wrong, or where, quote unquote, or where it could have been misconstrued, or where you weren't hitting all your points and you wanted something to translate. And now you went back, you took that feedback, you went back and you rewrote it, and now you're in alignment. That's what we mean by constructive feedback. And I just wanted to share some tips for writer's block. If anyone is out there and you're just like, I can't bring myself to the page. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there, but you can do it. And here are just some tips. Please go over past manuscripts, anything that you've written down, random writings, journal entries that you have, and just put it into one place. So start with that organization, and I'm going to do this myself, so please join me. Self-edit your work, tweak your story, your idea while you wait for more inspiration. What was your story? What did you initially want to talk about? Why didn't it work? Why did you leave it where it was? You know, maybe you're in a different place. Okay, where are you now, right? So it's and maybe you don't know where you are right now. Write that. Like, put that to paper. You have something to work with. You are here, so you have something to work with. Never forget that. Observe what's happening in your life. What's going on around you? What are you going through? Where are you frequenting often? What people are you encountering? What are the things that you're doing? Everything we do, we can use as inspiration, because again, this is an experiment, and this is our human experience that nobody else is experiencing at the same time that we are, and they never will. Nobody will literally ever experience life through your lens. So that is something to hold tight. Transfer handwritten work onto your computer. Read aloud what you've written. Think of what may keep you up at night and why. Write about it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Leave fear at the door, because it will destroy you if you let it. Leave fear at the door. Think of a book title and why you like it. Why do you think it's fitting? work on a book summary, a blurb, a synopsis of what you potentially would talk or write about. Even if you know, your goal was to write a book, maybe it turns into something else. Just get the gist of it down so that you have something, again, to work with. And lastly, I would love for you to write about a time using one of these 3 prompts. So again, take this at face value, and I want you could write about all of them. You could just write about one, but write about a time you may have felt embarrassed and why, what other emotions came up. Write about when you felt emotionally exposed or vulnerable. How did it feel, and how did you navigate that uncomfortable feeling? And write about a time that you spoke up for yourself. What did it feel like? Write about those things. Spend time with yourself, even if it's just 2 to 5 minutes. Write something down. Go back to it. Starve your distractions. Make sure that you're monitoring your screen time, because those are deteriorating not only our minds and attention spans, but our eyesight, just our ability to get up and do. We don't really have too much ability as we did in previous years / decades, because we're so connected and almost addicted to our electronic devices. I mean, technology is a blessing, definitely, but as it advances, please be mindful of your actual human experience and just talking to people and spending time with yourself, because that is so important to pour into yourself, your mind, your everyday habits. It's so important to examine, explore who you are, where you've come, how far you've come, and where you're going. That is important to spend time with so that you can grow yourself and hopefully share that knowledge with other people as well. So it's super important. Take one of these prompts or all 3 and dive in. And that is it, my loves. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to book any or, talk any further about writing or any writing projects that you have, please do email me and we can talk further. I also do have some services if you're interested in speaking further. But this was amazing. I hope that something on this PowerPoint truly gave you inspiration and guidance in finding your voice and identifying who you are, and doing so that respects your boundaries as you are continuously becoming the marvelous woman that you're becoming. So again, thank you so much for your time, and I will talk to you soon. Email me if you need me. Have a great Thursday. Bye.
Hi guys, my name is Tamika Jameson, formerly Newhouse, and I'm the founder of AAMBC. The acronym stands for African Americans on the Move Book Club. Established in 2008 for the sole purpose of amplifying Black stories and those that tell those stories. In 2025, we are prepared to even amplify our events. We also want to host more events year-round, and so we need your help. From book signings to a literary freedom walk, to festivals, to curating book drives. We are wanting to do it all. So please visit the website, aambc.org, and learn all about us and donate to us today. Thanks.